The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Guys, please confirm. Okay, so let's proceed and let's talk about recap. In the previous session, we have seen how we can control field level things, and we also saw how to create public group and queue. But where we are going to use this public group and queue? Let's see. Please note, public group is famous for sharing rule and manual sharing. Here we use public group to share the record to a group of people through sharing rule or manual sharing. And queue is famous for approval process, which is our upcoming topic, and a queue object, sorry, lead object. What is that? Please know, in Salesforce, we have one by default object, standard object called as lead. All the inquiries to the company, all the potential customer of the company, we maintain in the object called as lead. Someone is saying, I want to buy a laptop. What is the best price? That's a lead. Someone is saying, I want to buy a mobile phone and what is a good price? I'm thinking about this. It's a lead. So anyone in the company doing inquiry, that's a lead because that person can give you a business in upcoming days. So all that information we mentioned in the lead object. So with the lead object also we use queue. This is a very famous combination. Like why we use queue? So generally what we do is a queue means group of people, but we focus on transferring ownership. So let's say a lead is created from India and he is looking for uh, let's say 10 laptops. So as the company works on multiple time zone, let's say this is the Q1 which works for USA customer, this all people, and let's say there is a Q2 which works for India or Asia Pacific time zone. So this responsibility, this ownership transferred to these people. This is also a very famous format people do in the market. Different queue, India queue, Australia queue, North America queue, Africa queue. And the lead is coming from whatever region, hand over the lead to that particular queue. This kind of combination also people do. So this way queue is famous for lead plus approval process, which is our upcoming topic. So imagine that there is an inquiry from India and that lead we hand over or we are transferred to a queue, let's say of Asia Pacific. And now in that we have employee 1, employee 2, and employee 3 of the company. So who will take care of that lead? Let's say this is the lead. Who will take care or who will responsible or who will be having the rights? Now that will be taken care by their seniors. That we don't need to worry in Salesforce. Just we need to transfer this ownership of this lead and everyone will be eligible to take care of the lead. Now whether this person is free, whether this person is free, their seniors will decide. We don't need to worry. But they all have capacity to control that lead or take care of the lead. And this is what we do. This is what we do in Salesforce. But after that, among those people who should be taking the responsibility, that they internally decide. Their seniors decide. Next. Now let's talk about this question which also came in the exam. Public group. What is public group? Simple. It's a group of users. We can add users in the public group from any department. Remember, we can add people from any department. Two people from marketing department, one person from HR department, six people from finance department. Yes, we can do all this kind of things in the public group. So what is the advantage of this? The advantage is that just by using single click, we can share the record to the large number of people on regular basis because it's just a matter of sharing to the public group. That's it. And it is useful for manual sharing rule, just we saw. And also, once we create any public group, it can be used for any object that we saw yesterday. It can be used for any object. That's it. These five things you can say. And if they ask you this question, then please note you will say queue is nothing but a group of users, same like public group, same like public group. And next, we use queue for transferring ownership. The main benefit of queue is to transfer the ownership. That's it. Next. So, by the way, transferring the ownership. So, what actually is the purpose behind transferring the ownership? So, the purpose behind transferring the ownership is transferring responsibility. We transfer responsibility by this way. Ownership means responsibility. So we say, okay, now this record is your responsibility. This record is your you can say target to complete this lead or get this customer converted like this. So this is what we do when we talk about the responsibility. So in that queue is very useful because in the queue we talk about ownership transfer. So next, mostly this concept comes in approval process or lead object. Lead object. And one more thing you can say that queue will work. Queue will work only for specific objects. Okay, not for every object. That's it. So what are the four things you will say? It's like a group of people. Second, it's useful for transferring the ownership, transferring the responsibility. Third, we use this concept for approval process or lead object. And finally, queue will work only for specific objects. That's it. And now guys, and tell me in your own words in 15 seconds, please proceed. right, time is up. So, guys, let's proceed now for next thing that you can say when we need to just share a record with large number of people regularly, then we use manual sharing or sharing rule at that time. Public group useful, and when we want to do lead like load balancing in the company, lead sharing, pass the responsibility of any records, approval process, ownership transfer, then we use queue. By the way, please note in the public group we can give access, read only, read write. Public group access, read only, read write. And please note we have seen how we have seen while doing manual sharing, there is a button at the bottom which will give us only two options, read only and read write. So this is how we can do only read only, read write work in the public group. And one more famous interview question. Let's talk about that. Now, this is a very famous question where people mostly are not confident in answering, but you will be very confident. Only one thing I will be giving you the information about each point while you're answering. So, point number one, ownership. Now, by using ownership concept, tell me the difference. By using ownership concept, tell me the difference. Good. So, guys, here in this case, public group will never talk about ownership. It will only talk about that data sharing. But Q will talk about ownership. Correct. That's the difference. Now use this point, object access. Now by using object access, what you will say? What you will say? By using object access, what you will say? Object access. Good. Please note, once you create public group available for all the object, but queue only specific object. We have to select object name. It's not going to be available for all the objects. Next, delete access. Tell me something about delete access. Delete access. Good. See, in the public group you can't delete, but in this scenario of queue, we can delete. And how we can delete by queue? Because it never spoken about the scenario like delete facility. Then how in the queue we can delete? Tell me how we can delete in the queue. Okay. So guys, in the queue they become owner, and that's why owner can delete. Simple. That's why they get automatic delete access. And finally, scope in the project. Where you will use this? Tell me the scope in the project. Scope in the project. Okay, good. So guys, answer is public group can be used in the manual sharing rule, and queue is useful for lead management, approval process, etc. Now let's talk about one interview question. It's advanced interview question. Came in the cognizant interview. Cognizant interview. Object name is C. Object name is transaction. Field name is amount. And total people in the finance department 10. Okay. So what we need is in that for person 1 to 8, the field should be hidden. Person 9 field should be read only. Person 10 field should be read write. How you will achieve? Tell me in 30 seconds. Your time starts now. How you will achieve? This is a tricky question. Sufficient time is given, and good to see only one wrong answer, remaining all a correct answer. Very simple. This we will do by profile. We will create profile 1. In that, we will mention for everyone it is going to be hidden. Everyone. Okay. So, or I will do one thing. So, by profile, we will make hidden for all. Okay. Then, by permission set 1, we will make read only for person 9. And by permission set 2, we will make read write access for person 10. That's it. This is the solution. Now let me give you some work which you are supposed to do in your free time, weekend you have in front of you. So things are coming on the screen which you just need to see. Then in that 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the next background 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Everything is coming properly in the video. You just need to refer this 24, 25, 26 in your free time in the weekend. But do try this because this will make you strong in the security process. Next. Now guys, after this, let me tell you one small information. Sometimes people use this, they say this in the writing in the email. So guys, that assignment, just play the video, pause the video, complete your task, and then resume the video. Simple. Okay. This way you can save your time instead of writing, typing, all these things. Just play, pause, and complete your work. So look at this. People use different variations. Please note, even this matters. This will be taken negatively by interviewers. They will say you don't even know the name of the market where you are working. So please be careful because we have seen in the past even these things are considered by the interviewer. Use correct word. Next. Now let's talk about the new journey. Please note What is this new journey? Let's see. In the demo, if you remember, I told you that Salesforce is nothing but virtual office. Virtual office. And you will be having senior, junior kind of thing. Same like same in Salesforce also. Same in Salesforce also. Okay. Please note. That's why today's topic you should know how we can make the things better, proper in this regards. Same like company, approval, senior, junior, same like company. How we can do this. So this is possible. Approval process in every business, where actually we need to take the permission. And as per the industry format, we need to take the permission from senior and then perform something, etc. etc. Okay? So this is something what we need to do in the project. So we need to learn how it's possible in Salesforce. This approach is possible by approval process where we can take permission from senior and then do something. By the way, this approval process is quite famous, and that's why in the office, in the market, that's why you also use this feature in your job whenever you want permission from seniors. From audio video. Now please confirm. Okay, fine. So now let me tell you that in the real life, we take approval from senior. How? So a junior person, if want to take approval, let's say government office, something like that, he will send a file to the senior person. And on that file, senior will mention approve or reject by giving stamp. By giving stamp. Okay. So this happens in real life. But in Salesforce life, it's same thing. Only instead of file, we send a record. Record 1, record 2, record 5. We send records. Okay. We send records. That's it. This is the only difference. Next. So if you remember that in the demo session, we have seen the third party job giving company project. The company giving third party job. So we are going to take the reference of that. And that company dice.com, and we are going to talk about this. Next. So in that business, the requirement was if a person is looking for a job in Australia, then in this case, we need to take the permission from senior, because in Australia, in that case, in that project, the terms and conditions were a little bit different, and because of this, a request will be sent to the senior. Then senior will decide yes or no, and then finally, after response, the further work will happen. That's it. This was a requirement in that project, especially for Australia region, because of for Australia placement, some rules and policies and things were different. Okay, that's it. So same scenario we are going to take. So here what we'll do, that we are going to assume that Shekhar is HR, let's say junior person, and he can't take the decision for Australia. So he will send the request to the senior person. Whenever country is Australia, then senior we are going to keep as a Tom, and junior we are going to keep as Shaker. That's it. That's it. So Shaker junior, Tom senior. This pattern we are going to follow. So there is a prerequisite for this. The prerequisite is you must declare that Tom is senior to Shaker. Otherwise, how Salesforce will understand? You must declare Tom is senior. How we can do this? Okay, listen carefully. The very important prerequisite before we start working on this topic, go to setup and mention that if Shaker is going to submit something, then it should go to Tom. How? In the left hand side, type user, go to users, edit Shaker, scroll down, and here you must mention manager for approval. Look at this. Manager for approval is Tom. So now whenever Shaker is going to submit, then please note, then in this case, we need to mention this, otherwise error will come. Okay. Next, we need to also ensure one more prerequisite. Here, what I will do, as per the scenario which I told you, I'm going to click on Rise, select here, recently viewed, click on New, country Australia, salary whatever. Now I will share this information to the concerned person. But what about access? Tell me, concerned person should be having access or not? And what kind of access? Yes, the senior person also, guys, should be having access. Otherwise, how it is going to work? A senior person should be also having access. Okay, then only it's going to be possible. So remember this. So this way, for Tom, I should give access either by sharing, manual sharing, role, permission set. That doesn't matter. That is your call. How you want to give permission, that is your call. Okay? But permission must be given, and then only it is going to be possible. Okay? Then only it's going to be possible. That's it. Next. So two prerequisites. One, we need to clearly mention that XYZ person is senior, and that is important. And second important thing is we need to mention that, or we need to give access to the concerned person. Okay, remember this, otherwise you will get error. Okay, next. Now let's create approval process in Salesforce one by one. Approval process. Okay. So after these prerequisites, you are all set. Now create the approval process. How? Go to this Click on setup, and in the left hand side type approval process. You will get only one option. Click on that. After that, you will come to this area which is going to give you some kind of information. It's okay. Extra information for you. Let it be. Then scroll down and below select your object in which you can actually mention this. So I'm going to here D for dice. And then you'll get this button. In this two button, first thing is we need to understand what is jumpstart, and second we need to understand what is standard setup. Please note, both are the ways by which you can create approval process. But what is difference? Please note, point number one, jumpstart is a shortcut, easy process, short process. Standard setup is a long process. Jumpstart very easy to understand, quickly we can complete. Standard setup is very long, little bit tricky to understand. But then also which we are going to learn, please know, then also we are going to learn standard setup. Because as your career mentor, my focus should be not on what is easy. My focus should be what is important for your career. So the second option is very important for your career, standard setup. And if you learn second option, then first one is a piece of cake. Piece of cake. Okay. So let's proceed for second option. By the way, in the market, I have seen people are unnecessarily confused about this approval process. People from other institute, whenever they come across me for any kind of interview through any company. But if you focus on every single information, then you will be confident. So focus on every single step. Okay, so first here we have some 6 general information we have to give to Salesforce before we start working on approval process. Okay, what is that? First is you have to give some name for this. Okay, we know the company name is DICE. We are doing the project for DICE and DICE.com, Australia approval process. That's it. Description, your wish. Click on next button. Now Salesforce asking that Shekhar, which kind of records, according to you, should be coming under this approval? Are you okay if anyone is doing approval request for a record of India? No, no, we don't want that. Anyone is doing approval request for record of USA? No, no, we don't want that. We have clear condition that country equal to Australia, then only that record should come into the approval. So this way, what it will do, it will avoid unwanted records going into approval. See, when there is no problem for any process of India or UK, then why we should take approval? They are saying don't take approval, just move ahead, right? So why to worry then? So only mention those records where you are worried, where you want approval next. So you can add such kind of multiple conditions, by the way, and you can also add the filter logic if you have multiple conditions, one and two, one or two kind of thing. But right now we have only one thing, so nothing to worry. Click on next. Okay. Next, automated approval determined by means what? Now this is interesting. Who is the person giving approval to Shaker? Guys, in general, for everyone in every business, Salesforce, .NET, Java, cement business, biscuit business, mobile business, laptop business, everywhere, manager is the person who gives approval. That's why in the Salesforce projects, most of the time you select manager. But if your client is giving some exception or some kind of different situation, then you can create a new hierarchy relationship field by using knowledge that you already got in the relationship field topic, and then you can actually do accordingly, no problem. That's also possible. That's also possible. That's it. Next, use approved field of dice.com owner. Now, this is also important. Remember this. Actually, what is the meaning of that? You have to understand carefully. First of all, Salesforce is saying, imagine now on this page, two people are present. Let's say Ajay, let's say Shekhar. Why Ajay? Let's say because we have given some access, okay? Access given to Ajay by maybe sharing, role, whatever. He also has the access to the record, and Shekhar also has the access. Both can open the record, and both can send this record for approval. How we can send the record by approval? So we have a button here, we get a button here. In that button, we have submit for approval. Why it's not coming right now? It's not coming right now because we have not completed all the steps. Okay, so nothing to worry. So Shekhar can submit and Adam can submit. So now in this case, Shekhar is owner. So let me mention here, Shekhar is owner. So if Shekhar, so now this record is getting submitted, then definitely you are going to send it to manager. So Shekhar's manager should be selected here or Ajay's manager selected here. That is the question. Simple. If record is submitted, Shekhar's manager should be sent this request or Ajay's manager. Here Ajay's submitter of the record. Okay. Ajay is submitter of the record. Shekhar is owner of the record. So if you select this checkbox, then Shekhar's manager will be selected for approval. If you don't select, then whoever is submitting the record, that person's manager will be selected. But we don't need to worry about all these things. We don't need to worry. Why? Because this will be taken care by client. They will tell us, client will tell us what to do, what not to do. Please confirm audio video. Please confirm audio video. Okay, I think the technical issue. No problem. We will see this one more time in the next session because this is something very interesting and also important to keep in the mind. We'll talk about this in the next session. And now, please note, today is Friday morning, so tomorrow, day after tomorrow, no class. Please do proper revision and assignments because very soon we'll have admin ending quiz where you can win good amount for examination. So please do revision and we will continue in the next session. Thank you.